Hi everyone, how are you? So in this video, I will be telling you about a very famous question. It's a lead code hard problem, so I will be solving that. And this type of question are usually asked in interview also. So that's why I will be telling you this one. So let us see the table first before moving towards our question. So in my above table, I had my client ID, those who have ordered their cab. In my other column, I have driver ID. Then we have city ID. Then we have the status, whether that cab is cancelled or is it completed. All these things are given in my status. Then in which date that cab has been booked is given at my requested art. So I hope my first table is clear. So in my first table, we just have client, driver, city ID, as well as status, whether my booking is cancelled or not, and then in which date my booking was done. All these things are given in my first table. Then if I will move towards my second table, in my second table, I have user ID. So what my user ID is? So here my user ID is the combination of my client ID as well as my driver ID if you will go through it properly. So you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 is your client ID and 10, 11, 12 is your driver ID. This table is telling me that whether that user or driver is banned or not. Okay, so that is what my both tables are telling me. So what I need to find out, I need to find out cancellation rate of request with unbanned user for each date. What I mean by that, so for each date, we need to find out the cancellation, like how many cancelled status are there, like whether it is cancelled by a driver or client. I don't need to keep that thing in mind. I just want to find out on that particular date how many cancellation were done and by unbanned user. That you have to keep in mind that all the users should be unbanned. So how can we do this one? So I'm thinking that this question is clear to everyone. So let me tell you how can we do it. So first we need to find out our unbanned users. So for this, I am finding out my banned user first. So how can we do that? To find out the banned user, we can just use that. I want to have my user ID from my table, from my below table. My below table name is users, where my band equals to yes. So this will give me my banned user, right? Now with the help of this, I will find out my unbanned user. How can I find out my unbanned user with my banned users? By using my subquery. So I will say that I want everything from my above table, from my trips table, where my client ID also should not be in this one, in this syntax. So it should not be in this syntax, like they should not be one. So that's why I'm putting it in my subquery, as well as my driver ID also should not be in this. So I will say that my driver ID should also not be in this. So this will give me all the users who are not banned and every information about those users, right? So I will save it in my CTE. With the help of this, with the help of my this CTE, now what will I do? I will just find out, like for each date, I will find out cancelled uh, cabs as well as will find out total bookings. Did you get that? So I will find out cancelled booking for each date as well as I will find out total booking, so that I can find out with the help of them, I can find out my cancellation rate. So that's why I'm doing it. So I will say that I want to have my requested ad because I want to have for each date. So it's request ad, not requested. So I want to have my total bookings. So I will say that I want to count my all bookings as well as I want to have those bookings which are cancelled. So inside count, I will use case when. If you haven't gone through my case when video, you can go through it. In that, I have told you about how to use case when inside your aggregate function. So case when what? Case when my status like cancelled percentile. So I have to put like operator because in my table, we have cancelled by driver as well as by client. So I have said that the status that start with cancel, I want to take that. Then I want to have the count. Then I want to have the count. Else I want to give null. So I'm not using else because by default it will give null if we will not use it. So I am ending my syntax and giving it as cancel. cancel, and here I am giving the alias as total. From my which table? From my CT. So if I will run it now, and one more thing, in select clause, we have used a non-aggregate column with the aggregate column. So group by is compulsory. So group by requested at. So if even group by is not clear to you, you can go through my video of group by. So let's run the syntax and see. So here you can see that I got the total, I got the cancel booking also. Now I will save it in my CTE2. With the help of that, what will I do? I will just find out my cancellation rate. How will I do it? For each date, I will request at, and then for cancellation rate, cancel, and I want to have in decimal, so I'm taking 1.0 for that, divided by what? Divided by my total, and I want to have the cancellation rate, so I want to find out the percentage, so I'm multiplying it by 100 from my CTE2. So this will give you cancellation rate for each date. Let us see whether are we getting it or not. So yes, we are getting it. You can write the alias over here also as cancellation. Right. So you can write the alias, and this will give you your cancellation rate. Hope it is clear to everyone. If you have any problem, you can ask in your chat box, as well as you can ping me directly too.